As India and Pakistan enter their third day of open conflict, the United States has firmly stated it will not intervene. In an interview with Fox News, Vice President JD Vance dismissed the crisis as fundamentally none of our business, a stark departure from nearly 5 decades of American engagement in South Asia to counterbalance Russia and China. This new isolationist stance, grounded in the America First doctrine, does more than just diminish U.S. diplomatic influence. It leaves a vacuum, one that China is eager to fill. With the U.S. on the sidelines, Beijing stands to benefit from the conflict, positioning itself to dominate trade routes and regional influence, even if that comes at the cost of millions of civilian lives. As a former U.S. diplomat during the height of the Afghanistan war, I saw firsthand how Washington once skillfully balanced South Asia as complex dynamics offering stability, strategic investment, and life-saving diplomacy. From the Dayton Accords in Bosnia to coalition building in Central Africa, the U.S. has a long legacy of guiding conflict resolution, especially when direct talks between hostile parties risk spiraling into greater violence. A history of tension, a future in peril. India and Pakistan, born from the bloody 1947 partition of British India, share deep cultural ties, yet follow increasingly divergent political paths. India, home to over 1.5 billion people, is now an economic juggernaut and rising global cultural force, its influence reaching the Met Gala red carpet and Hollywood circles alike. The U.S. is India's largest trading partner, and the countries have deepening ties in defense and technology. Pakistan, with a population of 250 million, has positioned itself as a gateway between the Middle East and Central Asia, long serving as a U.S. counterterrorism ally. Despite recent cuts in foreign aid, the Trump administration maintained nearly $400 million in military support to Pakistan last month. Both nations have long-standing strategic partnerships with Washington, forged through bilateral agreements, military support, and economic investment. But that carefully constructed balance now appears to be unraveling. Cultural bridges versus political walls. Over the years, civil society in both India and Pakistan made considerable efforts to move from enmity toward peaceful coexistence. In 2006, after nearly 4 decades of separation, bus and rail routes reopened between key cities. Cultural diplomacy flourished. Pakistani music icons graced Bollywood soundtracks, and Pakistani soap operas found massive audiences in India. At the Wagah border, a nightly military display, part confrontation, part ceremony, offered a theatrical, yet peaceful form of engagement. Yet these fragile connections are constantly threatened by the unresolved legacy of Kashmir, a region contested by India, Pakistan, and China, with deep roots in colonial-era divisions. The recent terror attack in Pahalgam inflamed those tensions, sparking both rage and reflection across borders. Many citizens took to social media, urging restraint and unity instead of religious blame, often using humor to confront the grim reality of war. A dangerous escalation and U.S. silence. Despite calls for international mediation, missile and drone exchanges are now taking place between India and Pakistan with tacit U.S. approval. Local leaders pleading for diplomatic intervention are being ignored. And into the silence steps China, seizing the opportunity to assert its own agenda. India's response to the Pahalgam attack signals a dual strategy: strike at militant sources and disrupt trade flowing through Pakistan. China, with significant economic interests in Pakistan, is ready to defend its investments, offering military and media support to Islamabad. By stepping away, the United States isn't just abandoning its allies, it's enabling regional instability. Left unchecked, old wounds fester, violence escalates, and civilian lives are lost. The current tit-for-tat strikes threaten to spill into population centers. In a world where 2 nuclear powers are on the brink, this isn't just a regional issue, it's everyone's concern.